Good evening, welcome to a 500 point test battle report for Age of Sigmar. We have Ogor Mawtribes versus Legions of Nagash. Alright, we're going to take a quick pause and go look at the... Okay, starting off with, we've got the Ogres here, all 11 models in them. We're starting off with the leader being a Butcher, and then we've got 2 units of 3 Ogre Gluttons. The unit on the left, to the right of the Butcher, is got the dual clubs, or clubs and swords and all that fun stuff. The other one is going to have the clubs and the Ironfists showing here. Behind them in support we have 2 Saber Tusks and 2 Leadbelchers. Comes out to exactly 500 points. Also, just to explain for this report, since this is just a test, I'm not going to be playing like any of the special Mawtribes or the Legions. It's just going to be basically the basic Warscrolls, regular spells. I'm going to give the Vampire spell, I'll explain that in just a second. So it's just going to have the Mystic Shield, Arcane Bolt, and then the Maw that comes natural with the Ogres. I'll explain how the Maw works if I actually get the spell off. Otherwise, 500 points. Let's go ahead and take a look at the... Okay, and now looking in at the Legions of Nagash, we are starting off with the leader being our Vampire Lord or Vampiress. She is going to have the Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt scrolls or spells, but since they don't come with a natural spell on their scroll, I'm just going to give her the one from the lore of vampires that just does draining damage where it heals nearby units, and I just of course completely blanked on the name of the spell, so if you can think of it then I'll remember it when I look at my Warscrolls here later. In the meantime, I have a rabble of 20 zombies with a noisemaker and the standard bearer, and then I have a unit of 10 skeletons here, armed with swords of this game. There is the champion, the musician, and the standard bearer there. And behind them I have 5 Hexwraiths. The leader of this game is going to be the naked one over here. The unfortunate thing, I just had a catastrophic failure. A couple of them had their sides broken off at inconvenient spots, so they're not going to be on this game. I'll fix them afterwards. Otherwise, this is all 500 points exactly as well. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and go take a look at the board and then talk about this. Alright, here is the board. We're just using the good old Warcry train because it just looks nice and such. We'll see if I can actually get good colors from this camera. Name of the mission, I'm just basically doing where the treasure chest here, and the center pile there are all separate individual objectives, trying to just get people close to them. I'm not going to do any fancy extra stuff, again, in the attempt of working on memorizing, so they're just going to be worth 1 point at the end of each battle round, depending on whoever has more models next to it. Now, as a small note, Ogres do count as 2 models each, with the exception of the Saber Tusk, so there's 6, 6, 4, 2, and 2, whereas we have 36 models over here. Another thing to note, I'm not doing any of the graveyards for the undead, and I'm not doing any of the the Maw Pot for the ogres, again, just to keep it simple. Also, I'm playing on a card table. It's only about 33 inches across and such, so it's a really tight game as it is. I don't need to clutter it up with the massive Maw piece on top of it. So otherwise, I'm going to just go ahead and roll for the turn. As you can see over here, I guess I should explain the actual layout. I got Hexwraiths, skeletons, vampire, zombies. Vampire, I forgot to explain earlier, is also a flying horror, so she has to fly and will be moving 10 inches as opposed to the normal 4 or 5 inches that they normally move. And then, as you see all over here, Saber Tusks on the far end, Ogres, or Gluttons, Butcher, Gluttons, Leadbelchers to hold off on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and roll off now. Let's see if we can get a good roll here. Red dice will be those guys. Blue dice will be these guys. And let's see who goes first. Alright, first turn goes Ogres. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so during the hero phase, or the magic phase for this turn, we'll get a command point, but I'm not really doing anything with command points for this. I'm not worried about that. All spells, they are 24 inches apart, so he can't cast any of his attack spells, so we're going to go ahead and do a defensive spell, doing the Mystic Shield. It goes off on a 5, this is an 8, and the vampires can see him and is within 30 inches, so we're going to go ahead and have her, we'll just switch up dice, cool and fancy. She's going to attempt to dispel me and roll 9. Nope. Alright, so he gets off Mystic Shield. We will give it to the Gluttons that have the Ironfists. Now, as part of the Butcher's scroll sheet, every time he casts a spell successfully, he gets to roll a die. On a 2-up, he heals a wound. On a 1, he takes a mortal wound. This is just to prevent from a mortal wound. Cool. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get into the movement phase. I will just take a quick snapshot of the before and after. So I pretty much just ran everything because nothing's within shooting range, and yeah, we'll take a close look at the run rolls. One, I didn't run the Butcher, just didn't really need to. A 2 and a 1, very exciting. Well, since they ran, they couldn't reach anything to shoot anyways because they have a relatively short range. No charges, nothing. So we're going to go ahead and move straight on into Legions of Nagash. Alright, so I checked the spell ranges again. She could cast Arcane Bolt, but the other spell, the Vile Transference, which I could not remember earlier, is out of range. So I could either do that or use the Mystic Shield and try to protect the Hexwraiths from further. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and plunk off some wounds, so I'm going to attempt to cast the Arcane Bolt. Going off on a 5, that is a 7, so that will go off. And attempting to dispel with the Butcher, a 5, that will not be enough. So we're going to go ahead and quickly remind ourselves what exactly the official roll is needed. It's been a long time since I've used that spell. Alright, so the closest Ogre unit is going to suffer 1 mortal wound. So the Iron Shield or the Iron Fist Ogres, I will put a marker on them in a moment. Exciting. First blood. Alright, after that we're going to go ahead and do our moves and get back to it. So this is again the before and after. Okay, so I just moved the Hexwraiths up with the Ethereal passing through the wall over here, lining themselves up with the hope of a double turn so they can take out the kitties and then regroup and try and take on the rest of the bulk. The skeletons ran forward for a 3. The vampire has popped up right behind, ready to jump wherever she needs to go. And the zombies rolled a 6, because apparently they just really want to die again. However, it puts them within range of the objective, and definitely more enough models to take away from the Leadbelchers over there. So, and with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and there is no shooting, of course, for this army, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the charge roll. The Hexwraiths are going to charge, as they are the only unit that can charge. So I'll roll it first and see if I need to measure it. A 9. That is definitely should be more than enough to get in there. So yeah, they only needed 4 inches to get in. So yep, they're gonna wrap around, probably eat those kitties. Of course, in my hubris, I pushed them out of reach of the objective. So only 3 of the 5 are currently within reach. So they'll still control the objective even if they don't kill the Saber Tusks. But they're not as sturdy in case these guys come over there, which is probably what they're going to do, but we'll see what turns out. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move it. Alright, so starting off with the attack, there are 11 attacks for the Hexwraiths, 1 additional for the Hellwraith. This is for their spectral size. On a hit roll of 6, it will cause a mortal wound and end the attack sequence. Let's make sure. Yep, so if I roll any 6s, it's automatic mortal wound. Let's see what they do. Alright, we got 3 mortal wounds, which will automatically kill 1 Saber Tusk. We were looking for 4th hit, so we only hit twice. And then wounding on 3s, with 1 wound at -1 for 1 damage. The Saber Tusks are only a 6-up save, so I just need to confirm that they only have 2 wounds apiece. That is correct, so the Saber Tusks biff it. Goodbye, kitties. It's been fun. Well, that was a really exciting fighting phase. That was pretty much the only fight that could happen, and yeah, they just hacked up some cats. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move the little dice out of the fighting tray. And we're going to roll up for next turn. Ogres win ties. Red again is ogres. Blue is the undead. Alright, that's exactly what the undead needed. So that will be the start of the turn. In the meantime, objectives. Clearly the undead. Clearly the undead, so they get 2 points there. However, this one, with it being 6 inches from essentially the center, I have at least 6 guys there and 3 here. So it's currently 2-to-1 Legions to Ogres. So, alright, well, Legions got the second turn, so they're going to go definitely take that double turn. This will probably mean for a good solid approach. So, spells, we'll just jump onto that really quick just because we're being exciting. We're going to go ahead and cast the Arcane Bolt again, targeting the same unit. Rolling a 5. Now, we're just going to confirm that it is a 5 to cast. It is a 5 to cast, and the Mystic Shield is 6, but I got it off earlier. 7, okay, no spell. So, let's move into movement. We will get back to it shortly here. And here's the after. So, start off close here. The zombies shuffle forward, ready to charge some Leadbelchers and try to eat. Skeletons came in to bottleneck this area. Not that it really matters, because that's the objective itself, but I mean, they could charge. I just don't know if I'm going to actually have them charge or not. The vampiress flew over here. She's actually within 6 of that objective, but I put her about 4-inch charges, both to a 3-inch charge. But I figure if she fails to charge, then I'm controlling the objective. If she makes the charge alongside the Hexwraiths, then I should hopefully clear out that side of the table and kind of secure that objective side anyway. So even if I lose a point right now, I'm already a point ahead. The Hexwraiths, of course, moved. They actually had enough move to pass through units, and they have their Spectral Hunters rule. So if they move either models at least through during the movement phase and then pass through an enemy unit, for each model they could pass through, which was all of them, they get to roll dice, and they cause a mortal wound on each 5+. I'm going to be targeting the 3 Gluttons there, just because I didn't have enough to go after the Butcher. I probably would have, I think I only would have had enough to get like 2 to clip it, so I thought it'd do more damage to the Gluttons. So, 5's up. We did 1 mortal wound. Okay, so they will take a mortal wound, and be down to 3 wounds on that poor guy. So that's that. We're going to go ahead and go into the charges, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge the zombies first. Rolling at 8. That should definitely be enough to close the gap, so they'll move in just a moment. I'll put the dice over by them to remember. The Hexwraiths are going to charge. Rolling a7, they will definitely connect, so they'll probably end up engaging the Butcher as well. Maybe not that choice, maybe they'll be able to do some damage, so I'll do that. And then grab 2 little dice. We're going to have the Vampirus charge in as well. For a 7, that's definitely enough to get in. Do I want the Skeletons to charge? If they go in, they're probably going to end up setting themselves up for failure later on, so. No guts, no glory. Let's do this. Okay, Skeletons with the white dice. And 11. Lovely. They are really wanting to fight. Okay, I'll finish moving them all and then start getting into the close combat. Alright, here are all the charges. The zombies had enough to completely increase. Skeletons had enough to get everybody into the fray. I kept the Hexwraiths just out of reach of the Ogres in case the Ogres managed to do something to pile out and then pile into them and cause more damage. So, otherwise everybody's touching except for the Vampire Lord, who's going to go first, because what I'm going to do is for her 3-inch pile in. Since she's not touching, I'm going to come around over here, making sure that she is still within 6 of the objective, which she is. So I'm going to have her attack using 4 attacks of the Spirit Possessed Blades. They hit and wound both on 3s. So that is 3 hits. I'm going to switch those out because they're really hard to see. There we go. And wound on 3s. That's 3 wounds. They are -1. Those ogres are the double clubs, so they don't get the bonus. So they are on 6s. And okay, that is 3 fails. That's D3 damage. Jesus. 3, 6, 7, 8 damage. Almost max damage. That actually kills 2 ogres flat out. So I'm going to pull him and him. And then move the 3 points over to the champion, the Crusher. Ouch. That's brutal. Okay. So the next unit to attack. Gluttons will go after the skeletons over here. So they're going to have, let's see, remind ourselves, because again, it's been forever since I played. 3 attacks each. Crusher gets an additional attack, so that's 10 attacks. 3, 4, 8, and 10. I'll be using some white dice again, I apologize. Hitting and wounding on 3s. So, again, 6s would generate additional attack. Nope, not this unit. Not that matters, because I got no 6s. So I take those 2 out. Wounding on 3s. So that takes out those 2, having 6 successful wounds. They are skeletons, so the skeletons normally have a 6 up. They get a +1 versus Ren nothing, so they have a 5 up save. Otherwise, they can wipe the whole unit. 5 up. Oh, just enough survive. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. That's 8 skeletons disappearing. I'll pull those off in just a second, not screw around. And leaving 2 behind. Okay, so it's the end of the player's turn next. They'll go ahead and pile in with the Hexwraiths. We're going to go ahead and send 2 up to him, 3 into her, or her into him, it, whatever you want to call that ogre. And I will split up the attacks accordingly, 3 going to hit Butcher and 2 going into the Glutton. So, get second, get the dice. Alright, so the 7 attacks into the Butcher, the champion's attacking them, so that is hitting on the 4s. And that is 2 fails, and a mortal wound, so that automatically ends the sequence there. And wounding on 3s. That is 3 wounds. Then I have to quickly look up the Butcher's save. I think the Butcher's only got 5+. Yeah, so he's got the 6s to save. And, ooh, save 1. So he takes 1, 2, 3 wounds, putting him down to 4 wounds remaining. We'll grab a die to represent that in just a second. Although I can go ahead and roll the spectral mounts next. Those are 4s and 5s. 4s. 3 fails. 5s. Nothing. So no wounds against him. Alright, now we're going to do the 4 attacks against the Glutton. We're going to be hitting on 4s. 2 fails. I apologize if you're missing seeing viewing dice. It's kind of hard holding the camera and rolling dice. And 3s to wound. That's 2 -1s. And we're going to roll a 6 to save. No, we're not. Okay, so that's 2 more damage. He has 1 wound remaining. And now we'll see if the horses can kick him to death. 4s and 5s. Alright, very kicky. Let's see if they're very ouchy. 1. Oh, there's a chance. 5 up. Oh, that's not enough. The Glutton goes down. That another ogre unit is incapacitated. Okay. Well, at that point, we're going to go ahead and have the Leadbelchers swing, thin out the zombie herd before they're eventually dragged down and eaten. So, they have 2 attacks each. And there is a Thunder Fist, and he adds another 1. The Thunder Fist, if you really care, is going to be, we'll just do the one with the tattoo in the front. So, 5 attacks. Hitting and wounding on 3s. Alright, so 2 miss, wounding on 3s. 2. Against the zombie save of none, that kills 4 zombies. So, 1. Oops, I left the musician in the back. That was silly of me. Don't want to get rid of him just yet. That's 4 zombies that get pelted by ogre clubs. Oh, they have a long way to go. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the zombies forward, count how many there are, and then pick up the dice accordingly. So, as they are the next unit to fight, because I don't think any other major fights matter. So, alright, they just shuffle a little bit. The musician is out of reach of punching, but the other 15 are. So, here, 15 dice. This is probably the most dice I'm going to roll this whole game. They are normally hits on 5s, wounds on 5s. They would have had more hits and wounds had there been 20, but there's 4 dead ones. So, we're going to have 15 attacks, hitting and wounding on 5s. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, perfect third. We'll just take out those. So 5 dice. We'll take out the whites and replace them with blues because those are a lot more clear to see. Wounding on 5s. Ooh, we got 2 wounds. That's almost statistically average. So, Glutton save for the Leadbelcher save, I believe is a 5, but let me double check to make sure so we're playing it right. Yep, they have a 5-up save. So you got 2 5-ups. Nope. So one of the Gluttons takes 2 damage, putting that 2 wounds remaining. That is a slugfest that will never, ever end. At least probably not for this game. Okay, Butcher. Time for you to chop chop. Alright, you have the Cleaver for today. So we're going to be rolling 3 dice. And we're going to be hitting and wounding on 3s. I guess we're not hitting and wounding at 3s. Oh, poor Butcher. I guess you just weren't feeling it today. Okay, skeletons. That was incredibly exciting. Alright, skeletons with the blades. We get 1 extra attack because of the champion. He's still there. The Headless Wonder himself. So, hitting and wounding on 4s. The hero is not close enough, I believe, to give them their... Oh, actually, it's 1 to hit rolls for any death heroes within 18 inches. And that is more than half the table, so they actually get a +1 to hit. So they will be hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. 2 hits. 1 wound. And the ogres are on a 5+, and they get a 6+, so they punch back and do a mortal wound. And I believe I got the Mystic Shield off earlier, so on a 1, I reroll. 5. Oh, they saved it. Huzzah. Oh, the skeleton's dead. Okay, I believe that is everyone for it was vampire. Yep, I believe everybody's fought. So, morale tests. Skeleton bravery is going to be a 10 because they're skeletons, but they've lost 8. So, we're going to do 8 plus 6. That's 14 by skeletons. The zombies lost 4, so even if I roll 6, they cannot fail. And the ogres were wiped off the table and nobody else took any significant damage. So that will be the end of that. So it's now going to be Ogre's turn. Okay, Butcher's got 1 spell. He's going to have to cast the Maw. For those who know, that's a spell. There's a lot of damage if you're lucky. We'll see if the ogre can be lucky. It is a casting value of 7. 8 goes off. Let's see if the vampirist can deflect the spell. Ooh, 3 does not go off. So, the Butcher is going to pick the Hexwraiths. To start off with, he does D3 mortal wounds. And then, yeah, we'll do D3 mortal wounds. So 3 mortal wounds. That kills 1 Hexwraith and puts 1 on 1 when we're left. Now, I roll another die. On a 4-up, I get to roll again to do more damage. On a 1, 2, 3, then it stops doing damage. So 4-up, more damage. 4-up, more damage. So it does another D3 for 1. So that's 2 dead Hexwraiths. Let's see, 4-up, keep going. And yes, it's keep going until you roll a 1, 2, 3. So you can wipe a whole unit if you're lucky, which we may very well see. Doing 1 mortal wound. Oh my gosh, and that goes off. 3 more wounds. It's 2 more Hexwraiths. There's 1 Hexwraith left with 2 hit points. And it's done. So, because of the success of that spell, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Poof. To a raging bite. And before we forget, let's roll to see our blood roll. Oh, and he takes a mortal wound, putting him up to 5 wounds and 2 wounds remaining. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and do the movement phase. So those guys can move. He's actually locked in combat with the Hexwraith. The real question is, do we help out the Leadbelchers, or do we just forego that and go after that? I think the obvious answer is to actually go after the Vampirist, because I honestly think she just got really lucky with her attacks in the first round. So they are going to move their 8 inches. And then we will just go ahead and measure that on camera, because you know what, we're here. So, normally they're 6, but of course they're ogres, and when they're hungry they get to move 8 inches, and that's like right to range. So we're just gonna bring them around and attempt to do a good old-fashioned shuffle boogie woogie. And I'll just quickly make sure I am within or without 3 inches without completely rearranging the entire terrain on the entire table. Moving that over to him. So they got 3 inches away, and I think just to be appropriate, we should turn him around so he's actually facing his adversary. The Belchers are stuck in place because they're completely wrapped. Not that they need to move, because they can still shoot their guns, which they're going to do now. So, and since they didn't move, the Leadbelcher guns actually get D6 shots per Leadbelcher. So we're going to roll for the number of shots. 4 shots. Wow. Okay. They are hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. 2. And then we'll just take that one out so you can see. And 3. One more zombie bites the dust. That was an incredible shooting phase. That was an incredible moving phase. As the game moves on very quickly, because there's not very much to do anyways, we're going to go ahead and do the charge phase. Alright, Gluttons. Do your charge. On a 6, they make it in plus. They get to do the Ogre Charge special rule. And that is, they get to roll a number of dice equal to their charge result, which was a 6. And on any 6s, they do mortal wound to their target, the Vampirist. Nope. Never mind. Alright, so with all that said and done, we're going to go ahead and go into the combat phase. But which unit will go? The correct answer are the Gluttons, because honestly the Vampires hit really high last time, but she could do that again. So we need to take her down first. So we have 10 bites. Oh, you know, I realized I forgot to do the bites on the skeletons. Not that it really did anything, because I don't think they did anything of note. Okay, so 10 attacks, hitting on 3s. Half of them missed, unfortunate. We got another wounding on 3s. Ooh, everything wounds. So there is no rend. She has a 4-up save, so otherwise each one that fails gets 2 wounds through. So if she fails 3 of these, she will actually die. Die. Oh, she took 2, so she has 4 wounds taken, so she has 1 wound remaining. And then I will remember my gulping bite this time. So 3s and 3s. Very exciting again. All 3 hits. 2 wounds. And 2 4-ups. So she fails 1 of these. She goes down. And she gets to fly off and go hang out with the other deady boys on the side. I think that could be very well the big game swinger right there. Alright, in the meantime, the Hexwraith is definitely going to go next, because it's the leader. We can get a double kill right here. Alright, we're hitting on 4s. 6s cause auto wound. 1 auto wound. Okay. Glutton is down to 1 wound remaining. Let's see if the horsey can kick and bitey bites. And hits on 4s. 2 hits. Watch the horse does it. Wounds on 5s. Double wounds. Okay, Glutton needs to now roll double 5s to survive. Alright, and the Glutton. We're the Glutton. The Butcher explodes in our vat of butchery stuff. We don't really want to think too deep into what it actually is. So, Alright, with that being said, now we're on to the Leadbelchers, who get their 5 attacks. Hitting 3s and 3s, and then killing 2 zombies at a time. 3s. 3 hits. 3s. 1, 2, 3. 3 wounds, so that's 6 more zombies dead. I think we'll need to pull from the back of the unit now. 2, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 zombies crumble. Alright, they're gonna go ahead and pile in. We're gonna fling the standard bearer because that's appropriate apparently. He's gonna be drunk and stupor. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 zombies left. We'll see if they can pick any more wounds off of the Leadbelchers. 5s and 5s. Well, we got 4 6s. That was a 6, so. And 5s. 1. They can't even kill 1, unfortunately. 5 up to save. Nope. So it takes another wound, putting that one Leadbelcher down to 1 wound remaining. So, morale. You lost 4 guys. But they are leadership 10, so even if they roll 6, it won't matter. This unit lost 6 guys, so 3. 6 plus 3 is 9, which is less than 10, will not matter. And then the ogres didn't lose anything, so in the meantime, the ogres will claim 1 objective. I'm just playing it where they can't claim this more than 1 objective just because of how small the table is, so I'm going to forego the middle one. And the zombies are actually closer than the Leadbelchers, so they claim 1 objective. So that is 3 to 2 ogres to undead. Now, here comes the important roll. I think here, if the undead win, they can have a chance of taking out the zombies and just stay ahead by 1. If the ogres go ahead, then, well, hopefully the Leadbelchers can punch enough to take out enough zombies to get them out of the swing of it. So we'll see who goes. Zombies are blue and red accordingly. Oh, undead gets to go first again. And this is going to go quick too because there are no more characters. So I think the proper play here is knowing that since the ogres can't get more than 1 point with the 1 unit left, we're going to try and take out the other unit. So let me check their movement. I can't run past them to the point where they would cause their mortal wound effect, so we will put him roughly 3 inches away back here. There's no shooting to be declared, no magic, so we're going to just charge. This last little bit will probably be the last bit of the game. Charging on a 7. Whoop. And then he will attack first, being the Hexwraith. Hitting on 3s, or 4s, 1 mortal wound and 1 hit. That kills the 1 Leadbelcher right away. And then wounding on 3s. That wounds. It's at a -1, so a 6 to save. Nope, so it takes another wound. So that kills this one and pushes the other one to 3 wounds remaining. Then we're going to do the 2 horsey bites. 4s, 5s. Nope. Okay, so that's it. So 1 Leadbelcher goes down. That other Leadbelcher is now going to fight back for his meagerly life. He can't swing at the other guy because he's too out of reach. 3s and 3s. 3s. And, oh, he only kills 2 zombies. Man, I think the dice have really aided the undead in this game. I don't know what you all think, but we'll find out. In the interim, we have 2, 4, 6, 7 zombies left. 3, 6, 7. 5s and 5s. Ooh, we got 2 hits. And 5s. We actually got a wound. 5 up to save. He didn't save. He has 2 wounds remaining on that Leadbelcher. And that is it for top of 3. Bottom of 3. Well, I think the Gluttons know what they need to do. We're going to just put them So touching right past, right about there, because unfortunately they are currently still losing. They're going to go ahead and, oh, we got the shooting phase, so D6 shots, 4 shots. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. 2 hits. No. Good job, Leadbelcher. You're doing great. You're punching better than you're shooting, which is appropriate to ogres. Okay, now we're going to roll to charge. We are 4 inches away. And 5. And we get to roll 5 mortal wound checks on 6s. So the more zombies die, 1 zombie dies. And I guess that unit's pretty much gone at this point. So ogres get to go first. I think obviously it would be these guys get to go. They will engage the Hexwraiths, but I think it doesn't really matter at this point. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the champion. 3s and 3s. 2 off some zombies. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3s. 2 zombies die. Alright. And 4 zombies swing back. They're going to go after the Leadbelcher, because if they can magically kill them, then they won't get hurt more. I love dice. I love dice games for this very reason. Yeah, it's still the 4 6s to hit were amazing, but that's just how it goes. So Thunderbelly hits on 3s. This could be enough to wipe that unit. Nope, only kills. There's still 2 remaining. That's 5 guys lost, so they can stand to loser check. He is obviously within 3 inches, so he's going to go ahead and forward and try to take out the Leadbelcher. This Hellwraith is really putting in the hours on this one. So that is a mortal wound and a hit, and 3s to wound. That wounds. It has a -1, so we need a 6 or the Leadbelcher goes down. Leadbelcher goes down. Blech. Okay. So at this point, it's the bottom of 3. We're going to do the morale test. If I roll, it's a 5, so if I roll a 6, I'm going to lose 1 more. Nope, they barely hang in there, because why not? And the ogres are now closer, so they get a point. So the bottom of 3, it's 3 to 3 tied. At this point, I don't know if the undead can still come through, other than the Hexwraith running away over and over. But we're on top of 4, so we'll see. If the ogres win, if the ogres win the initiative here, I think they're going to win. So top of 4. Oh yeah, they won. So combat phase. Okay, we're going to roll 10 dice. This is super awesome. 5, 10. Alright, 3s. And 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Hellwraith would be a fool to get into combat with them. So he's going to stay out of it, because basically what's going to happen is he's going to run away and then stay as far away from them, and then it'll be a draw. Or we'll just have him engage and see if he can kill one of the ogres. He's within an inch of just the 1, because this is slightly more interesting than having them run away and pulling a draw. This is what I get for doing that. And get through. And on a 6. Nope, so that takes 1 wound, so he has 1 wound remaining. And then 2 horsey kicks, 2 wounds remaining. I don't know why I said that. Okay, and now it's the ghost's turn. And he well, actually, I mean, he would have to run out of combat to get out of this, so he's going to run over. It's like, what? Technically, strategically, he should run away, but because really at this point it's just me playing with myself, we're going to just have him fight to finish it out. 4s and 3s, nope. This is 4s and 5s, nothing. And we're going to do only 6 can reach to fight. 3s and 3s. Reroll that one. So 3. And they're at 4 up with no changes. Oh, failed 1, 2 damage by the Hexwraiths, who did a lot of work that game, and I'm going to call it technically an Ogre victory, because at the end of the round, they'll be within range and they'll start scoring more points. So, yeah, that's kind of how these games go sometime. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble the team and kind of do a quick post-game battle report. Thank you for watching. Let's just do... Alright, post-loot. Let's see, everyone gathered afterwards to talk about a good game and all that. So let's just talk about how the game went. Well, first off, obviously it's a test game. I'm not using the full use of the rules and my potential. There were no, graveyards to regenerate. Not that it really mattered. I wasn't really being strategic in any way other than just moving things across the board and rolling dice, because ultimately this game is just to get more comfortable holding a camera and trying to roll dice. So I hope that in retrospect that some of the dice rolls were pretty clear. I think there were definitely a couple I could have done better on, but it's my first time, so y'all can just chill. The ogres definitely, I think, even though for winning, I think the dice were definitely trying to favor the undead as much as possible, which, for what it's worth, I really feel like ogres do better and lower points, just because each model has such a damage output and like the ability to workhorse through a lot of things that, yeah, there's 3 times as many models on the undead, but you start crippling them and they fall very quickly. As you saw, the skeletons, we lost 8 of them in one shot. So, whereas, I mean, the undead did what they could, but again, you shouldn't be charging zombies or skeletons other than just to prevent impact hits, but it's a casual game. It's just trying to get guys across the table, roll dice to be more interesting. Like, yeah, at the end of the game, I could have had my Hexwraith run around and avoid the other ogres and just get the points and hope that they don't charge him at, while he runs through them and try to mortal wound them one at a time, just plink them. But I felt like that'd be a lot more boring to watch me try and do that shuffle back and forth, but strategically would have made more sense. MVPs. Obviously, for the undead, I'm definitely giving it to the Hexwraith. The fact that he killed the butcher, killed another guy, just kind of hung out to the very bitter end. Now, the vampiress, she did a ton of work on her own, and I mean, she did, she pretty much wiped one unit of ogres by herself, but you kind of should have anticipated that with the amount of text that she has. Like, she should be able to do that kind of work. So I got a little bit on the luckier side for the rolls, but for the Hexwraith to survive and do what they did, I think I'm giving him the MVP for the undead. As for the ogres, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, that unit of ogres were eaten by the vampire. Oh, I forgot to do the healing, but I don't think she was wounded yet by the time that even mattered. So, yeah, I don't think she was wounded, but the saber tusks went forward and died. Those guys, I mean, they hung out to the end, but they didn't really do much other than punch through skeletons and then finish off the zombies. I kind of want to give it to the butcher because the Maw cast was just very successful and probably swung the game right there. I think that actually gave the game to the ogres in the long run. Like, if he had failed on doing that much damage, I mean, those Hexwraiths would have done a lot more to the remaining ogres. But the one Leadbelcher who sat there and just shot gunfire over and over, but as I recall, he actually missed a lot of shots. I'm going to give it to the butcher. I think the butcher definitely gave the ogres the win at the end there, even though he succumbed to the Hexwraith shortly thereafter. So, well, otherwise, I had a lot of fun recording this. I mean, it took me a whole whopping 45 minutes, I think, to do all that. So, but it also helps when you have all the terrain all set up beforehand. So, I hope you guys really enjoyed watching it. Please put any comments below. Just keep in mind I am new at this, so any tips and advice would be great. You know, insults, keep to yourself, because nobody needs to be insulted. And if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, just feel free to let us know. And thanks. I'm just keep rambling, or not.